talk about Kevin Durant possibly joining the Houston Rockets. This has been one of the biggest stories so far, and we're not even in the official offseason of the NBA, but it seems like Kevin Durant is on the trade block for the Phoenix Suns, and I want to debunk a bunch of just BS reports right now. A lot of analysts are coming out and they're saying that, hey, Kevin Durant, he requested a trade. That never happened. You guys can go and look it up. He never requested a trade from the Phoenix Suns. The reason why they're in this situation is not because Kevin Durant's a cancer and he's pulling a James Harden move like how James Harden pulled on the Houston Rockets a few years back and how Jimmy Butler just pulled that type of move on the Miami Heat. Kevin Durant was content with staying with the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are in hell right now with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. And it's not because of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. It's because of Bradley Beal. They literally cannot trade this man. He has a no trade clause. So anywhere they want to trade him, they have to run it by him and he has to approve of the trade. And to make matters worse, he's making over $50 million a year. One of the worst contracts in the NBA. You look at Kevin Durant. They'd rather move on from him because he's an older player and they view Devin Booker as the face of their franchise. They want to go out there and they want to give Devin Booker a 2 to 3 year contract extension. They want to make him a lifer, which I don't have a problem with. They tried to trade Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors. They contacted him. He said, hell no. Then he came out a couple of weeks later and he was basically upset. He said, well, why would you want to trade me? They can't contend with that big three that they have, quote unquote. And now you look at the names on the roster that Kevin Durant potentially wants to join. The Houston Rockets are up there. The Miami Heat are up there, and the same with the San Antonio Spurs. But the Phoenix Suns are looking for a lot of draft capital, and they're looking for a consistent big man. I look at the Houston Rockets. You should not make this trade. If you're going to give up multiple young players and a lot of assets in the future, don't do it. Kevin Durant is still an awesome player. Don't get me wrong. This man's one of the best players I've ever seen. He's still one of the best players in the NBA. He's a top scorer, shooting 40% from three. Beautiful. But I look at what the Houston Rockets just did. You had the second best record in the NBA Western Conference. The only team that was better than you was the OKC Thunder, and they're in the finals right now as we speak. The Houston Rockets got blessed when Ime Udoka got fired from the Boston Celtics, which should have never happened. That entire situation was messed up from jump. But they humiliated Ime Udoka. You could say they put himself in that situation, fine. But they embarrassed that man. They pushed him out the door. The Houston Rockets say, you know what? We'll bring him in. He's one of the best head coaches that you can have. And almost instantaneously, here comes Ime Udoka. You have the second best record in the NBA Western Conference. You go to the NBA playoffs. You did lose in the first round against the Golden State Warriors. You lost in 7 games. That does suck. Anytime you lose in the playoffs, you lose a series, it sucks. But you went against Jimmy Butler, proven veteran in the playoffs with the Miami Heat, who has been to the NBA Finals not once but twice with that organization. Stephen Curry, who's a multiple-time NBA champion, the same with Draymond Green. It's okay. You're still a young team. You're figuring things out. A lot of things went wrong in that series, and we'll cover it again in this video. But you need to have patience. You look at the OKC Thunder. They didn't go out there. They didn't make a major trade outside of Shea. And in order for them to get Shea, they traded Paul George to make that move happen. And he was still a young up-and-coming player. You look at the Indiana Pacers. They didn't make major trades. Sure, they got Pascal Siakam. They brought in Tyrese Halliburton, but they still developed all those players outside of Pascal Siakam. They're in the NBA Finals right now. It is rare in today's NBA to go out there and trade for a megastar, and you're automatically a championship contender. Kevin Durant, he's not going to play for the next 5 to 10 years. I look at the starting 5 with the Houston Rockets. Majority of these players, I could say they're going to be in the NBA for the next 5 to 10 years. And the same with their bench players, because you have drafted very well and your system is working. Ime Udoka is getting the most out of these players year in and year out and game by game. We're having great defensive sets and figuring things out on the offensive end. Now, Kevin Durant would push them over the top in terms of their offensive scoring. Your half-court offense still has problems. That's what happened against the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, they figured that out. And they were depending on Jalen Green to step up. It didn't happen. You bring in Kevin Durant, immediately it opens up your offensive game, but your defense will take a hit. Now, I look at someone like Jalen Green. I wish that he would be that superstar scorer, but he's just not just yet. Maybe in the future he will be. It's a lot of reports that the Houston Rockets, they're willing to move on from Jalen Green. He's 23 years old. He could still develop into being one of the better players in the NBA at the guard position. This is a man that averaged 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 43% from the field. His three-point shot was 35%. But you're expecting more out of Jalen Green because you selected him high in the NBA draft many years ago. And they were really depending on him to go against the Golden State Warriors and have a consistent series. He had one good game to where he scored over 30 points. Besides that, he was a no-show and he shot them out of basketball games. He needs to perform better. And he's the most interesting player right now with the Houston Rockets. You still have Reed Shepherd you can give a lot of minutes to. He was just a rookie this year. And I'm very high on Reed Shepherd. I know some people aren't because he's not a very good defender and he hasn't shown that much promise, but it's only been a year. Give him more time. The same with him and the same with Cam Whitmore. I don't know what the hell happened with Cam Whitmore and Ime Udoka. It seems like he's in the doghouse. They may trade him. If you could possibly trade Jalen Green and the same with Cam Whitmore, maybe a first round pick and possibly a wing to bring in Kevin Durant, sure. But it seems like the Phoenix Suns, they want more than that. The asking price right now for Kevin Durant is crazy. You stay the course with this team. Try to go out there and bring in another proven scorer or try to bring in a point guard like a Drew Holiday to help things out with your organization. And you have Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet's a very good basketball player. That's your veteran that you go to. He won a championship with the Toronto Raptors many years ago on the same team with Pascal Siakam. You look at Dylan Brooks. He played a couple of years with the Memphis Grizzlies. He was able to bounce back with Houston. Let's not forget how the Memphis Grizzlies pushed him out the door. They blamed that man for them losing against LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, and it wasn't all his fault. You look at the Memphis Grizzlies now, it seems like they're retooling their roster. But just listen to these names that you have on this roster right now. Fred VanVleet, very good point guard. Jalen Green, he's hot and cold, Mr. Inconsistent, but when he's red hot, he's red hot. Ahmed Thompson, one of the best athletes in the NBA. The jump shot is not there. It may be there one day, but even if he doesn't develop a jump shot, he's going to be one of the best players on your team long term for this simple standpoint. He's a great defender, not a good defender. He's great. Just like his brother, Asur Thompson, they can guard every position on the court. I've seen Ahmed Thompson go head to head with centers before. I've seen him go head to head with Jokic. Now in the post, that's a different story because Jokic, he's bigger, he's taller. But he could pick up Jokic if he's just bringing the ball up the court. We've seen him do this. It's the versatility that he has. He made life hell on Stephen Curry. He made life hell on Jimmy Butler. And we've seen him in the regular season. And this is a man that averaged 14 points a game. He could easily average 20 points a game. With the athleticism that he has on those backdoor cuts, able to go up there and finish with the live passes. He's able to sprint out, run the fast-paced offense with him just running out there on the wing. It just comes down to his three-point shooting ability. And I expect for him to work on that three-point shot just like his brother in the offseason. So you have to keep him around. He's a franchise type of defender. Dylan Brooks, very good defender. The three-point shot was falling down at a very good clip this year. He's a very good player. And don't get me started on Sengun. He's Mr. Consistent. He's consistently their best player night in and night out. You're not going to trade him. Sengun had a very good season this year. 19 points a game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 50% from the field. The double big lineup with him and Steven Adams. And they want to go out there and they want to keep those two together. They just gave Steven Adams a 3-year extension. That double big lineup really helped them out on the offensive end, the same on the defensive end. They're able to grab those rebounds over and over again. Sure, you go against a team like the Golden State Warriors, they shoot a lot of threes, they can give you problems. But not every team in the NBA can shoot threes at a high clip like Stephen Curry. And the same with the rest of the players in that Golden State Warriors series like Buddy Hield and the same with Brandon Podziemski. I don't want to see a situation to where they're just impatient and they go out there and they trade their young players just to bring in an aging superstar who is still phenomenal. This is not a I hate Kevin Durant video. I think the man would be phenomenal with the Houston Rockets, but I wish that he was a free agent. If he was a free agent, go out there, pick him up immediately. But that's not the case. Not only will you trade for Kevin Durant, he wants a contract extension, which is crazy. And he's going to be 37 years old at the halfway point of next year. Now, look at the bench pieces that you have. Tari Eason is a very good defending wing coming off the bench. You look at his points per game, 12 points per game, 7 rebounds, shot 50% from the field. He's a very good player. He's 24 years old, and he shot 35% from the field. Jabari Smith has carved out a nice role coming off the bench. I wish that he could be a consistent starter, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll move on from Dylan Brooks and he becomes that consistent starter for them. But him coming off the bench, he's been a spark plug. 12 points a game, 7 rebounds, shooting 43% from the field. The 3-point shot, 35%. And they selected him high in the first round many years ago. These are young players that give you good volume on defense and the same on the offensive end, night in and night out. Far as Cam Whitmore, one more time, the same with Reed Shepherd. I don't know what the hell happened with Cam Whitmore. He has a lot of potential to go out there and be a top scorer for any team in the NBA. But he rarely gets minutes with this team, which is just crazy. Averaged 10 points a game, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 44% from the field, 35% from 3. We've seen him go out there and play big time minutes, but it's rare. He played 32 minutes against the Los Angeles Clippers. He did have 14 points. The next night he goes against the Los Angeles Lakers. He has 34 points in that matchup. So I'd look at someone like Cam Whitmore. Do you want to invest a lot of time in him long term and you're trying to develop him at the 4 position? He's 20 years old. And the same with Reed Shepherd. That's the problem that you're going to run into if you keep all these young players. Some players are not going to get as many minutes as others because it's only so many minutes in a basketball game and it's only one basketball. But I look at the OKC Thunder and I look at the Pacers, and not every team in the NBA is going to be able to follow this model, but the Houston Rockets can. Versatility with different lineups. You run the double big lineup. You can have Sengun at the center position. You can bring in Steven Adams at the center position, or you can run both of them together. That's a versatile lineup. You could bring in Tari Eason and Ahmed Thompson for even more defense at the wing position. And all these players, they can consistently shoot outside of Ahmed Thompson. And Jalen Green, hopefully he can be that top scorer with you one day. But I look at the Houston Rockets right now. You stay the course. Keep this team together. If it doesn't work out, you can make a trade at the trade deadline. And there's also another player that may request a trade sooner than later, and that's Giannis. If Giannis wants to go out there and he wants to explore his options, and it seems like he is. There were a couple reports a couple of months ago by ESPN, by Fox, and they're legit. A lot of NBA insiders, they were able to confirm this. Giannis were exploring options outside of Milwaukee, and he wants to be somewhere to where he can get his full check. So where there's no state income tax. Sounds like Texas. Let the San Antonio Spurs go out there and trade for Kevin Durant. I think that's his best spot for Kevin Durant right now, him playing alongside Wemby. And now look at the Houston Rockets. You stay the course with your young team. If someone becomes available, go out there and trade those picks for Giannis. And if it's not Giannis, hey, it's okay. This is the NBA. Every single year, it's damn near guaranteed a star is going to be disgruntled. You can go out there and bring them in and you could possibly trade lower assets to bring in that player. Look at the Jimmy Butler situation. That came out of left field this year. But once again, I don't believe that the Houston Rockets should go out there and trade all their assets and all their young players to bring in someone like Kevin Durant. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about this situation? Should the Houston Rockets go out there? Should they trade for Kevin Durant, or should they stay the course with their young team? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.